So good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We know there are a couple more people that are supposed to join us, but they'll probably join in later, which is fine. If you can, please turn on your video. I hope you have your best pajamas available, so that we can, or a beautiful button-down shirt. That's also good, but preferably a nice pajama. Or a beautiful hat. Thank you. So good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our session today, which will be focused mainly on how we can really leverage making for the betterment of humanity. It's a very, I think it's, especially now after what we've probably all of us have gone through in the past couple of months through COVID, we can see really how impactful and significant Maker's contribution can be to humanity. Even though we've seen it specifically on the medical side, but there's so many other aspects of social innovation that we can really leverage through making. So today's kind of workshop will explore ways in which individuals, communities, whether it be labs, makers at home, commercial makerspaces, public library makerspaces, all these local manufacturing facilities can really be leveraged to create solutions for challenges of people around the world, whether it be people with disabilities, older persons, homeless persons. And there's so many other segments in our society that really can benefit a lot from the work that we do on a day-to-day basis. The idea of this event is really not to be a lecture, but to be a brainstorming session. It's a workshop with open questions, which we're hoping to really inspire you to have a conversation that will lead to different outcomes and different solutions that put together will bring really an interesting message for the world, something that we all in our respective places can take and follow up. And we also, my co-host Enrico, Adriana, will all present ourselves, and this will really kind of explain where we're coming from and how you can actually leverage this. So my name is Nadav Yesod. I'm the Director for Global Communities at TOM, Tikkun Olam Makers. With me also Mayan Keren. Hi, Mayan. Who's our Director for North America, and Roy Goldenberg, who's our Israel Community Manager. And together with Tom, we have two great organizations from the Fab universe. Fabverse, I don't know if that's being used, but from the Fabverse. Enrico Bassi, who's the manager of OpenDot FabLab in Milan. Hi, Enrico.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, and Adriana Cabrera. Did I say it correctly? Yeah, perfect. And I apologize if I mispronounced the name of the FabLab, Matrix and FabLab at Kamp-Lintfort, Rhine,
Yes.
at Waal University of Applied Sciences in Germany. And I hope I've done a good job in saying that. So each of us will present kind of themselves and the organization that they're from, but I suggest we just see the agenda kind of first, and then we'll move forward from there. So just bear with me one moment. Zoom. Perfect. Okay, so let's bring this on. Everyone can see the PowerPoint, right? Perfect. So this is kind of our agenda. We're going to do a short opening, and then the idea is to break into two breakout rooms. According to the size of the group, we'll divide it to be kind of even in terms of groups, either groups of 4 or 5, I think. That is kind of where we're heading. Group discussions on 3 leading questions that we'll present at the end. And then group can present key ideas and kind of outcomes from the group discussions, and really an open discussion. The timeline is very flexible. We're not attached to it. If we see that the breakout rooms are less interactive, we can go back to the general meeting. So it really is an open conversation, an open discussion that we'll hope will lead us to great places. Thank you, Rebecca, for this. This is great. So if you can really add on the chat where you're from, and if you're from a FabLab, if you're from your own maker, that's wonderful. So we know where everybody's coming from. I think I know where the where Seoul Innovation FabLab are from, but maybe not. So maybe it's a tricky name. So I think we'll move forward with that. I'll present Tom, and then Enrico and Adriana, you'll present FabCare, and we'll move forward from there. So Tikkun Olam Makers it's an Israeli turned global humanitarian venture. Tom is a network of communities that is dedicated to creating extremely affordable solutions for neglected challenges of people with disabilities, the elderly, and other underserved individuals and communities around the world. There are millions of people around the world that have neglected needs with no market solutions, either because the market is too small, and that is not a very financial incentive for private entities to actually go in, or there's also no government solution to support through subsidies, through other means, to create a solution. And this is really where Tom seeks to address this massive societal failure, where we have so many people around the world without solutions, and no affordable market or government solution. And these needs range from different things, from the day-to-day activities such as using a spoon to being independent in using the restroom. So it can be really so many things. So through harnessing technology, design, innovation, this is really our idea of how to solve these neglected needs, is really taking makerspaces and really connecting the talent, which is the makers, the designers, the physical therapists, the physicians, this amazing ecosystem that exists almost everywhere around the world, with the need. So really connecting abundance and scarcity together to create solutions. So how do we do it? And I'm giving you kind of the very brief overview, and I'm happy to elaborate later in person if that's of interest. So one is by creating a process that will allow us to standardize the innovation process. It is supposed to be well documented. It is well documented in our Tom playbook, and it is being done and documented by our communities around the world in order to replicate it and scale it. To a platform. So by creating a web platform where all solutions are housed and are available to download for free by anyone, anywhere, you can download a project, go to your local FabLab or to your other makerspace, and basically create your solution. Everything is open source and belongs in the public domain. And the third component is really a global community, creating a movement that drives forward global innovation. We believe that through combining these three components, we can actually reach 250 million solutions. It is a highly scalable operation, and currently today we have presence in about 27 countries with more than 70 communities that range from university communities, city communities, corporations, rehabilitation centers, high schools, that really creates solutions for the day-to-day needs of people. The innovation process is pretty simple. It's a four-step process of identifying a challenge, prototyping it through different activities, a menu of options of activities that you can create, then productizing solutions that are relevant to be productized, and then disseminating it through the web platform to anyone, anywhere. And I think the best way to really show it and demonstrate it is through a real life example. I want you to meet Noam. Noam is an Israeli guy who lost his arm in an accident. He was fortunate enough to receive, as you can see, a very fancy prosthesis that cost tens of thousands of dollars. But Noam's need of taking care of his need of being actually able to cook in the kitchen and be able to, on a day-to-day basis, use his arm in a light and easy and accessible way, was kind of hampered by the super sophisticated arm that he has. So we reached out to our Tom community in Tel Aviv and said, hey, can you design a prosthesis that will allow me to cut vegetables, carry pans and pots, and really take care of myself in the kitchen? The Tom community rushed on, and I'm gonna show you a video, and I apologize if for some of you, the video doesn't work because of internet connection, but it should be fine. So this is Noam. He tried, you see, he's trying to cut vegetables to carry pots and pans. And with a very simple, I wanted to say simple, but with a 3D printed prosthesis, which we call the PJ prosthesis, basically a pajama prosthesis that you can simply attach an attachment, different attachment at the end. They created a very simple, easy, and affordable solution for his need. And this is one example, and you can see here the final product. But the innovation process didn't end there, and this is exactly where the global movement and the platform come together. Fast forward to a couple of months later, that was in 2019, our community in Singapore was reached out by the gentleman on the left with the blue shirt, Boone. Boone lost all 4 limbs due to flesh-eating bacteria, a very bad case of sushi. And he reached out because he wanted to become independent again, the same way that he was before he lost his limbs, in using the restroom. So he reached out to the Tom Singapore community, who basically took the design that was created in Tel Aviv, modified it and customized it for Boone to be able to actually use the restroom by himself. And you can see here, this is the model. And you see that the end unit, the attachment is different. It's specifically modified for his usage. And I think that to close the story, we go back to Tel Aviv again. A different Tom community in a college, in a design college, was reached out by Yael. Yael is 15 years old, if I'm not mistaken. 16, okay. Thank you, Roy, for showing me the hands. And Yael, she actually created her own prosthesis, kind of a makeshift do-it-yourself prosthesis, but it wasn't functioning very well in order to play the violin. So the community in Shankar College took the design that was originally planned in Tel Aviv, upgraded in Singapore, and again in Tel Aviv, and created a different attachment for Yael. All of these solutions are housed on the web platform. You can see here just a couple of them, and you're more than welcome to search our website and check it out. There's plenty of very interesting prototypes that you can download, you can print, you can create. This is kind of the product page for the violin. As you can see, the approximate cost for the prosthesis itself is $60. $60 is a tremendous, tremendous difference in cost, and it makes this affordable to almost anyone, anywhere. And this is kind of the how-to guide that is attached, and you can basically just download it and create it in your local makerspace. And you can search for any Tom project on our website. I think that's just to give you an example of how you take really social innovation, you bring it into your makerspace, and you can create amazing solutions for people. And I think with that, we'll move to Enrico and Adriana to share the FabCare. Let me just stop share here, and you can take control.
Thanks you very much. It's always amazing to see the work you did, and it resonates so much with what we've done during the last years. It's just beautiful. I'm not sure I can share because it's disabled by the host. So if you want to go on sharing, we can.
You can now, Enrico.
Okay, sorry, thanks. Great, perfect. Cool. So during the last, just a brief introduction. I'm Enrico Bassi. I manage a FabLab in Italy called OpenDot. Adriana will introduce herself just a few slides on in the presentation. We work together to bring to life this idea of the FabCare initiative. So the FabCare initiative wants to bring together and support all the FabLabs around the world interested in developing personalized solutions for people with disability and with people with disabilities. So very, very similar to what Tom is doing, and that's why it was so great to meet them a few days ago to organize this work together. And we decided to call this object, these solutions, careables, just to have a name that describes something that can be created to take care of yourself or someone else. So we really want to help every lab. So if you have questions, needs, doubts, we did research in this field for years. So we know different platforms, different solutions that you can start from. And we are really willing to include you in the projects and work together with you if possible. So these are just some example of careables. Careables comes also from a platform similar to what Nadav presented before of Tom. All the solution collected here comes from some project hosted on the platform, but also projects from other platforms with the idea to just create a container that allows to browse solutions easily. Everything we publish is open source. Again, you can download it, modify it, get in contact with the developers, or just replicate it for yourself. So as I said, I'm managing this messy lab in Milan. This was a presentation for Fab Academy. I guess that a lot of you knows what that means. It's an open space. We do a lot of design because we started as we've been started and founded by a design studio. But since the beginning, we really pushed on co-creation with people with unmet need. I just want to show some projects to give you an idea of the range of things that can be built. So the smiley kid you see on the bike is Lorenzo. Lorenzo has some troubles to move, and the bikes, even the tricycle available, were not fitting his needs. So together with the therapist, we defined all the parameters of the bike. You see that the handlebar, for instance, changed from one version to the other, and that was really to fit the way he was holding his hands. So from a physical object to a completely digital one, this is a set of games and video games for kids with limitation in moving. It's based on the technology of eye tracking, open source again, with a back end accessible to the therapists to actually see the data on how fast kids are learning the process and are evolving into the therapy itself. Last example, we worked with doctors as well. This is a patent developed by a doctor here in Italy to simplify tracheostomy. It was actually an operation very important during the COVID-19 situation. And we support him to prototype and test the idea that he had. So again, the innovator, the knower of the need, is the person that comes in the lab, and then we just help him to bring it to life. So I let Adriana speak. Do you want me to go on with the slides, or do you want to?
Yeah, I think that it's okay. Yeah, thank you also for joining this session, and I am very happy also to through this time that we get the chance to unify so many good projects and activities, and that can be also an inspiration or maybe a start point for something very good for the next time. I am Adriana Cabrera. I am working in Matrix as a senior consultant. Matrix is working in social innovation, and I am yeah, you can go to the next slide. So I did this project. I worked as scientific assistant in FabLab in Kamp-Lintfort, in which I did this project in 2016. There was orthosis for a patient, and that was I think the starting point for working with assistive devices, and also very interesting learnings from a patient and also from physiotherapists, and so in that way was a very rewarding learning curve, and very exciting process for collaborating and helping someone in this time for a device that it didn't let's say that it's not, let's say, invented or for personalized for him. So I am working now in this project that is in a region in Germany that is about a digitalization and learning demonstration laboratory for innovation, which basically helps people with disabilities to integrate them in working scenarios from many of disabilities from motorical and mental impairments. And go to the next one. So another of the important points for these activities is also going to the curriculum in the university. And I think that that's some important activities that we did as with credit points. Biome Academy was a project that we did in University of Applied Science in the Bionics and Communication Studies, looking how to combine biomedical and biomechanics with a curriculum from combining digital fabrication and also other aspects, for example, tracking and understanding very well, let's say, the body. And also the project Fabric Academy, that maybe other, if there are some of you, there is also this nice academy that is close to textiles, and also therefore a very interesting topic also to combine with assistive devices or inclusion. So we did in this version of Academy fabrication for care version. Yeah, so also a really small point is that in the Fabric Academy is a lecture which I am leading. There is the soft robotics that is also combining the soft technologies, helping also for rehabilitation. So we didn't have any picture, but it's very interesting, and I encourage you, if you are interested, to go to the group also of Fabric Academy. So if you go the next one. So there are also other activities that we did with senior groups for people with for elderly people, and also some activities that the students also organize by themselves, the accessathons and help camps. So there are many really interesting ways how we could also combine let's say the activities of the citizens and make an iterative process. And yeah, so as Enrico says at the very beginning of the session, at the very beginning of the presentation, so we're working the Fab Care initiative grows to this working group, Assistive Technologies. We did also other meetings in France and last year in Egypt. And the idea is to collaborate and to combine all of these activities as Tom is doing, or maybe in other countries, as for example, Nidrus in Egypt, so that we can keep in the loop and work together. So there are some of the labs that already we have contact or also participate in the last sessions. And yeah, that's it from my side. So we have the Wiki Factory organization, FabCare, in which I encourage you also to publish your projects or stories, or maybe if you have any questions, you can also write in the forum. We will be very happy also to receive and to keep in touch. So I forget something, please, Enrico, let me know.
That was perfect. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Great. So thank you, Adriana and Enrico. The FabCare initiative and your local work itself is amazing, and we hope it grows and grows and grows. And it's just, you know, it's always good to see. Oh wow! Thank you, Saul.
A physical like.
Yeah. So it's super exciting, and I see that also folks here are excited about this, and we just, you know, this is a real message for the world, and this is something that we can all take part in together. So in order to move forward, what we're gonna do is we're gonna let me just share my screen again. Okay, and present. So the idea really is to explore three main questions: how to make your lab accessible to different groups, how to identify the right need to tackle, and how to make this process sustainable. We're going to be divided into breakout rooms. And each room will have, I think we can actually do less rooms than we thought. So we can actually do, what I suggest is that we'll do maybe even 2 or 3 rooms instead of 5, so we have enough participant in each room. And Enrico is in charge of actually providing us with the breakdown of the rooms. And through a set of guiding questions, we'll try to explore the different ways in which we can actually, you know, make our labs more accessible, how to really identify and tackle a challenge, and how to make our communities more sustainable. We're going to use the Mural app, which is a shared whiteboard that we can all basically pin our thoughts, add our comments on Post-it notes, which should be a very fun exercise, so everybody can take part and participate. So what I said is, Adriana, do you want to explain on the mural, and then we'll go into the breakout rooms? Yeah.
Maybe could you share the access to the screen? No. Stop. So I have here my mural, and maybe for the ones that they are not familiar with the platform or with this tool, mural is like kind of a huge whiteboard for brainstorming and for collecting ideas. I put the link in the chat, so please feel free just to enter. And so as we see, we have some tools here on the square in the left part, so we can add text and add post-its. So we divide also the groups. It means that you can just drag your post-it and put it and just write something. But also if you need some errors or forms, or also even you can post, for example, images, or just drag and put in your group. And yeah, you can also make drawings if you think that it's necessary. It will be very funny to see it. And some useful tools is in the square in the right part. We have this zoom. It means that maybe wherever you want to write something, I will just change the tool to text. Just double click in your post-it and you can do zoom. And I guess that here is already something written, something X. So you can just write, yeah, I like, you know, I don't know, something like this. But just feel free to write and modify here with these tools. And I think that that's it. So this is your space, just modify as you like, just that we separate per groups. And yeah, here we have also our questions, and we have a general question, and after we have also some other questions that helps to you to go introspective in the general question. I think that that's it from my side.
Perfect. Thank you, Adriana, for setting this up so we can work collaboratively. I think it's a great tool, and and I encourage everyone to do as many drawings as possible, so to make it fun. I know that our friends in Seoul already planning on the drawing that they're going to create. See, I knew it. That's perfect. This is the spirit we want to see. So Enrico, you've got the access to creating the breakout rooms.
Is actually Rebecca.
Or Rebecca? Okay.
Yep.
So
I'm going to do it. Just you guys will just have to bear with me for just 5 minutes, because it just takes a little time to make sure everyone gets in the right room. But no, I will create the breakout rooms, and then everyone will be able, you'll see a little button that pops up that says go into room or something like that, and we'll have it for about 30 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many group?
So I was going to make 3. Do you think that's?
I think three is good, is a good amount. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so everyone just give me a minute.
And how can we organize the 3 groups? So we modify the mural page as well.
So Adriana, maybe Milan and Rhine, maybe you join me, and then and we'll have like one group Adriana, one group Enrico, and one group Nadav.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Maybe one of Tom group can also come to.
Yeah, so Roy, yeah, so maybe Roy will join Adriana and Enrico. Yeah, good idea, good idea. Roy, you can join Adriana and Enrico, and Mayan and I will be co-hosting
Sure.
so either Enrico
So,
or Adriana, whoever is willing to adopt Roy
Of course.
is more
both
is
of us, of course.
although
Right.
we're
He does the dishes. You should do it.
Don't forget that you started it.
that's true.
All right, so I think I got it. You guys can message me if something is wrong, but I will open the rooms now.
Okay, let's see.
Okay. So it should be something on your screen that says, go to the other room. Hey, Elvi. Hello? Elvi, are you there?
Hey.
Hi. So sorry about that.
No worries. Once you transfer it, how do I go back? I can just do breakout room and then go back?
Yeah, so you'll push, now that you're the host, you can actually click breakout room on the bottom and then click which one you want to join.
Okay.
The only thing to remember is that as the host, when you leave a room, it'll show you the option to leave room, leave meeting, or leave meeting for everyone.
Right,
So
right,
just make sure that you only leave.
I won't leave the room, but are you taking over again later or?
I can. I just need to like get up upstairs and be able to get into the room. So if
once you're back, let me know and then I'll hand it over. So
okay, sounds
that
good.
way you can control the going back into.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
So do your thing.
Thank you.
You did it already?
What?
You made me host, right? Okay.
Yes, I did. So you should be able to do that.
Okay. See you soon.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Hello. Sorry, were you okay with that?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out how to like alert. I tried to broadcast a message.
Yeah,
that,
you did. I got it. It was great.
I didn't see it. Okay, so I think it's yeah, you can now because I didn't do it yet. So
Perfect. So you just have to click on my name under participants
I
or
did.
even on my
Yeah.
box. Perfect. Great.
I will. Yeah.
And
so
you wanted to end the meetings in like a minute, right?
let me see. Let me just text Nadav.
Hi.
Hi, Chetan. I see. Were you in the second breakout room?
Yeah, Nadav. Yeah. So because I am in the rural area, so the internet connection is not stable. So that's why.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So you can, you're welcome to join that room again, or you can stay here, whichever you prefer.
Breakout room.
Yeah, you should. Is there something?
I think we're gonna go back into the main session, and I think it's you could probably go ahead because I think
Bring everyone back.
should I ask in the what I'll ask. I'll just ask them in our WhatsApp group, and I'll see if they.
Or else what I can do, I will just put my inputs over there on that board and then we will reconnect.
Say that again.
I will be here only. I will go on that. What I can say, we are putting the sticky notes over there about the brainstorming. I am on that board only. Yeah.
We'll be, yeah, we'll be joining back in here in just a minute. So
I think we can go ahead, Rebecca.
okay.
Yeah.
So all breakout rooms will close in 60 seconds. It should show them too, so they'll know. Oh, they're coming back. Nadav, you're on mute, just so you know. Nadav, you're on mute. I wasn't sure if you were trying to talk to us. Sorry.
I thought I was unmute and not.
Oh, sorry.
But,
start again. Start again.
No, what I was saying is that we were trying to tackle pretty big questions. So I think we're gonna need 3 more sessions in the FabLab
you can
calendar
do that.
to really come up with some more details, and for the soul people to create more thumbs up
pictures.
Yeah, you just say soul and they dance. It's amazing. Is that everyone in South
Korea?
A lot of passion. Like you just say soul and then everybody's dancing. That's terrific.
I want to live that life.
Yeah.
It's good to me. Well, you guys can, just so you know, you can join you can later on add on sessions after FabX Live if you guys want to. We can absolutely do that.
That sounds awesome. Because I think we both breakout rooms, I don't think managed to kind of go through the whole questions.
Yeah.
So maybe Enrico, you wanna maybe share some insights from your group? We have about 10 minutes before we have to finish, and maybe to have some questions from people, had to leave some time for questions if anyone has. The traditional Zoom mute unmute. Enrico?
Maybe we can share
Yeah,
also
sorry,
Enrico, maybe you can share also the mural so that we can see also some of the answers.
Yes. Okay. So as I was saying, being muted, while being muted, we got the chance only to go through the first part of our list of questions. So thinking about the groups of people in need, we kind of divide them into two. So when there is a physical limitation of physical or mental or a specific condition. So we're talking about people with autism, with physical disabilities, elderlies, but also veterans, kids with physical and mental conditions. But there's another group of people that could largely benefit from this kind of process. So there's people in prisons. We did training with them, for instance. There is no, well, training in prisons is pretty difficult because of safety reasons, of course. And it's usually a very low level kind of training. Low income population, NEET, so young people not in education, employed or in training, and more in general population affected by socio-political and geopolitical conflicts. So all the humanitarian area that is very peculiar and not easy to imagine. So a lot of needs are completely unsolved. And in both cases, we start to think about how to actually improve the accessibility of the lab. These were great insights from Rebecca, from Tom. So it's basically maybe very contact. So it's important to have sessions with people to understand the need, but it's also a way to build up empathy, because in the Tom method, if I understood it right, the team that works in the solution, that co-design the solutions, is really the need knower. And I love the definition that you gave, you know, the greatest expert in the world about his own specific need, and someone capable of building something. So I totally agree on this. We do similar things. Something that I'd like to add very often is a matter of language. We try to involve healthcare professionals as well. For instance, because therapist knows limitations in the kind of movement that a kid should do while the family don't. And at that point, it's really a matter of speaking the same language, not too technical, nor from the maker side, nor from the doctor side. That thing is not super simple. Then there is something about the space is, of course, that needs to be accessible. For instance, another very good example I got from you guys is to have tables with different heights, or the possibility to regulate the height of the table. This is both, I guess, because of wheelchairs, of course, but also for some people it's easier to stand up, or the position is pretty high anyway. So it's harder to sit down or have the same mobility that you usually have when you sit down. Involving people, so the makers and the group of people that could actually improve the solutions. It's based on volunteering at the moment. And I got that you have troubles to scale it up because of limitation in fundings. So volunteers are amazing people, and it's just lovely to have them around. But of course, they are busy people. So sometimes it's easy to engage them in the first part, but it's not that easy to keep them engaged after the first step. So for instance, this could lead us to think about how to create programs that are attractive for companies. We were talking about that. If I remember correctly, you already do that. we did that with universities, that it's another big area, and transforming the objective of the course or the extra activities you do in your company into something that has a positive social impact could allow a more accessible program for people that works and volunteers as well. Then we were moving to the next one, and we got no
that's
time left.
Yeah, no, that's understandable. Obviously, the question, each question is a world of its own, and for the next for the next time we host this event, we might just do one question and that's it, instead of three. So we'll start with the second question next time. So from our team, maybe Mayan, can you? If you want, or Adriana, maybe you want to share some thoughts of what we've had. If not, I can do that.
Adriana, please, I give you the role.
Or if you want, I can do it. It's fine. Whatever you prefer. You're muted, Adriana. Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I just was looking the mural. Yeah, I think that we have. I think that yeah, the question was a little bit big, but I think that let's say one of the first steps that also Mariam tell us is the mapping of your ecosystem, and I think that that's also especially in our groups, because we have different regions and different needs. So that's very important to understand the local ecosystem and understand also where are you located, which is, let's say, depending of the kind of lab or organizations that are close to the lab. If it is a lab inside of the university, or it will be a lab that it will be independent, that it's a very important first question to guide, let's say, towards the lab. And also, especially for the needs, also we thought about older persons and also other thoughts that also we have here, partnering with this organization as special rehabilitation centers. Maybe some of you that are in the group maybe can also add something from these notes. I don't know exactly who was, but yeah, just take the voice. So, and I think that yeah, labs which are in the universities can be connected to various regions through students, as they are from different places and will connect different needs to the societies. So that is also a very important point that we are addressing here in the FAB community, especially in the FAB Foundation, that has also very lot of connections, not only with the university, but also in the whole global and local ecosystem. And I think that after, in order to understand a little bit more the problem, we run through different questions and about the resources, which resources are available, about the, yeah, if the lab would be set up, about the talent, finance, tools, also define periods working with the people, so that we could work through, let's say, for example, in the universities works very well with semesters, or for example, planning through a period of, yeah, a semester. And put a values and identity. I forgot what exactly we were talking about, Marian. I think that you talk about something, identify also the lab in some of the problematics that they have also in education, identify also the social problems that we have in order to tackle it. And yeah, I think that maybe Andrew, sorry, if you want to, Marian, maybe complement something about the session, or maybe also in our group, Jeffrey were also telling a little bit about the needs. So if you want to complement the thoughts, that would be great.
I think you covered everything pretty perfectly. Yeah, if any of the participants that were in our group would like to, you know, add some thoughts. I think, again, it's a conversation that can go on, and sometimes you have to really kind of, you know, start a discussion that leads into the deeper questions, and we had very little time to do it. So I think for the time that was allotted, we did, you know, touch upon a lot of different issues. So that was, you know, that was good. But does anyone want to add anything that is not covered here, or maybe thoughts that they wanted to share with the whole group? This is why they call makers makers, because they make more than talk, you know?
Otherwise, it's chapters.
I could, again, you know, we didn't get to the sustainability piece really. And I'm wondering if anyone has thoughts about, you know, the social versus profit. You know, I've been toying with the idea of, you know, my interest in starting the makerspace is both for resources in Malawi, both for you know, lack of resources, large need, and also education. And so I've been, you know, trying to think how to keep it sustainable. And one of the thoughts is, well, work on projects that have a commercial side. They you know, fulfill a social need, have a commercial side, so there's actually income from the result, and then the whole ecosystem feeds the education model. And I'm just wondering if that's an approach that has been successful for, you know, for existing maker spaces that are out there, to sort of combine you know, all of those things.
I think that it's very important point, and therefore we put these questions at the end, because I think that this aspect of sustainability and income from lab and have more sustainable models are very, very important. But at least, let's say that the model of the whole FabLab is, or let's say of these maker spaces are new, that still it's something that it's young and it's just recreating, let's say, and therefore we need such sessions in order to understand how let's say some strategies that some of labs are adapting, or how we could co-create this together. But I think that also in order also to help you, because I think that there are forward sessions that will tackle also especially this this issue, let's say. And maybe I don't know, Enrico or Nadav, if you want something to say.
Well, I can add a bit about the sustainability. It's a huge topic, and Jeffrey, it would be a pleasure to chat about it even outside of the workshop, because we really have to figure out models to make this sustainable. And when we think about the cost of a solution, there is a huge difference between the cost and the price. So the cost is very cheap, materials we use are cheap, machines we use are cheap. But when you think about the time it takes to get there, it really changed perspective in things. So what we tried to do here in Milan is to get funds to develop projects and pay the time of people, because with volunteers we had amazing people, but we really can't ask them to complete complex projects. So up to a certain level, we engage people even as volunteers, but then we are the one finishing it off. When the project is done and easy to replicate, then we switch from price to cost. So there's no designing or developing behind it anymore, or minor things, just adjustments. At that point, we get to the production, and the production can be cheap. I think it's amazing. And the perfect example, in my opinion, is what happened during COVID-19. So the development of the face shield, we got, let's say, 100 different design. Okay, 100 different people use their time. But then we produced millions of pieces, and the production of the single piece was cheap enough to be sustainable through donation, volunteers, but even fundraising or even paying for that. So it is a tricky thing, but I think that the key could be in dividing the cost of developing from producing.
Maybe if I can add to that, it's also very much depending on who you're selling to. So for instance, one of the things that you can do for it is, instead of selling it to the end user, which you would want to do at cost in terms of value, you want to do it at cost. You don't want to charge them more. If you go, instead of directly with the user, you can go through a foundation that supports users. Usually that foundation might have more resources, so you can get, and then also instead of just one item, several items, or if it's through the foundation, you can actually get more money for it, and then is a part of their solution. I think that's a way which sometimes works if you instead of going directly, going in some way indirectly through a third party that can actually pay, and then they distribute and another point which might, and this is very much depending on cultural nuances in each community. For us, and I can only say about Israel specifically, where I'm from, is that the notion of a weekly volunteer, to do weekly volunteer, is something very strong. So it's relatively, I'm not saying it's easy, and you can see, and the white hair on Roi's head are from that. But it is relatively easy to get people to come for a couple of hours once a week, where in other communities, it literally is quite impossible. And it might, so the programming itself also is a very crucial. The structure of the programming is also very crucial to that, because in some communities, we have found it to be super useful to have a 3-day make-a-thon where everybody comes together, shared cause, working 24 hours a day. And sometimes it's better for communities to have it a 4-week or a 6-week or 8-week process, coming for 4 hours once a week, developing or just building. So there's different types. There's the prototyping phase. There's the building workshops that you just build solutions, like the face shields. Like there's no need to, it was prototyped, now it just needs to be manufactured. So these are different models that you can play with and try out. We know that beer and pizza is usually a great motivator, but obviously this is something that is culturally sensitive and culturally reliant. So each community would have their own pizza. I know Enrico is from Italy, so we need to say pizza as much as we can. Exactly. Or I don't know, maybe want a meatball pasta dish served, which is also good. But that is really, I think, thinking about making and the act of making in a super social way, it proves itself to be very successful. You just need to find the right tune, the right attitude that really fits your community. Because people at their core, almost everyone is a maker. There's, I think, only very few people around the world who are not makers at the core of something. Not just, you don't have to do 3D modeling. You can do so many things. It's building with cardboard, it's painting, it's drawing, it's cutting. There's so much, and we see that with volunteers. So even bringing non-maker, like the official non-maker title, volunteers to assist is also of great help and could also bring, value to the community and to the work itself. So I don't do woodworking, but I know how to use a knife. Maybe I can do some part of some work. It sometimes complicates things, but at times it actually helps. So it really is depending on your community and what is really the best fit for your community, I think, as an example. I don't know if there's any more questions, or Adriana, you wanted to follow up?
Yeah, I think that just only to add something about the volunteering, and I just want to shortly tell my scenario, because it was inside of the university, and at the very beginning we didn't have really help in a lab with 600 square meters. It was very crazy, but I think the volunteering was essential. So because I think that always we have, especially in the making scenario, is always something to learn, so there is always something to make also. And I think that and this is an opportunity to learn and make together, because also especially in the workshops that we did, also teachers, they didn't understand how, for example, to make a 3D printer. And we learned together, let's say, teachers, students, volunteers. And especially for the volunteers, I think that it was very nice group, very engaged, because they learn a lot through making. And I think that this is also a value that we have to appreciate to learning and to get this chance to do something with the machines and so on. And yeah, after let's say that we did the chance to have then as making, for example, the Fab Academy, that it was another opportunity. Let's say that it's not let's say financial recognition, but at least, of course, it was a course that they will learn something, and after they could be let's say student assistants. So it was like kind of a step-by-step learning curve, but at the end there is a community, very strong community in the lab in Kamp-Lintfort. And I think that maybe there could be a scenario for you. Let's say we have to, everyone can analyze this and the pizza value.
Yeah.
I agree on everything, but the meatball pasta.
No, okay, that's there's no okay. That's something that we can. I think we can both agree on. I think also, yeah. Go, Adriana.
Just only something, because the conversation turned very interesting at the end. No, so we have the group, the Fab Care group, and even I don't know, we didn't put our emails, but in any case, the group will be open, and if we want to still post questions, that we will be there and we can follow. And yeah, also we have other workshops from the Fab Care, and Monday that we will do a manifesto. So if you want to participate, and the next one is the Fab Care meetup, in which we will present other projects of people who is working as the same as Tom or we, and it will be also a good opportunity also to learn and share experience for other groups.
Wonderful. So I think we kind of have to wrap up.
Yeah.
But I really want to thank everyone for taking the time to join us from different places from around the world. For those who woke up really early, to those who it's their middle of the day. And so really to thank you for participating. I think that making for humanity is really the highest calling that we can really achieve within our respective, careers and lives in the making world. So I hope that this session has encouraged you to pursue such endeavors. And if you are already pursuing such activities to strengthen you and provide you with value. All three of us, Adriana, Enrico, and myself, Roy and Mayan, who had to leave, are here for you with anything you need. We're gonna, on the event page, on the FabLab website or app, we'll put a comment. I think we can comment on it and then put our contact details maybe there, so you can reach out to us. And FabLab is such a great opportunity for all of us to really connect and learn and experience. So join in to more sessions and learn and experience. I think it's a beautiful thing.
We will use the forum function on the Wikifactory to transfer this question maybe, so we can keep track also of the answer.
Perfect. Maybe we can get one last thumbs up from Sol. and maybe a dance, I don't know, but wonderful. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Ciao,
Thank
ciao.
Bye.
Bye-bye.